fight for God, honor, country, families. Yourself like you don't care. You fight!
Right up the center. Using the road to ride right up the center, and these guys do not have shots off yet, and my cavalry is going to go for their general. Holy crap. Yeah, he was not prepared for that, I don't think. And early war cavalry has shotguns. You might see the shotguns go off. Who they hit? Who they hit? Oh, they hit the freaking general unit volley into the back. That's why this is why you get rid of the Irish brigade. Holy crap. There's only 81 men, and that's how much damage they're doing. That he cannot attack. Ooh, good shot. Oh, literally one dude died. Holy crap. F in chat, guys. Holy crap. Oh, and these guys are fucking back. They are back. Dude, these guys do not go away. And they're in light infantry formation, so it's even harder to hit them, bro. What is up, guys, and welcome back to yet again another Visualized History and Lore video. And there we have the artillery and the cav running to the front, and the infantry following not too far behind. Guys, we have an amazing 4v4 for you here today on the American Civil War submod for Napoleon Total War, being developed by myself and my good friend Hunter over on the Discord. Guys, out of all the years, and yes I mean years, I've been playing this mod, affiliated mods, etc. from Napoleon Total War that include the American Civil War, this is one of the greatest replays I've ever had the pleasure of seeing and have the pleasure of being in. This is one of the greatest battles I've ever played. It is so fun. It was such a good one-for-one trade battle with such a good realistic type ending. I mean, seriously guys, it's multiple assaults, no clear ground is gained. It's like a real Civil War battle in this one, and it is so cinematically beautiful, and I cannot wait to show it off to you guys. Guys, we have 27,000 troops on the field here today. That's 27,000 of one of these dudes on the field today, and a good 50 to 60% of them are going to drop here today. That is a lot of men, guys. So make sure to stay tuned. Now let's go ahead and get into this really quick. We are on Bloody Lane today, and the Confederates are kind of assaulting Bloody Lane, kind of not. They're kind of assaulting the flank of it. This is the end of Bloody Lane, and it wraps around here with the orchard in the center here. They're used to the Confederates being back here, having some of the North Carolina from D.H. Hill over here and lining these woods, and having the Union assault from there, and here. But since we're playing on a B map, it spawns us a little different. A B map is just a map that spawns you in a different way, so you have to attack a map a different way. Alright guys, and we are back. So we had a hard crash there, but I replayed it a little bit, so we're a little bit back in time from where we were before, but this is better. I can go ahead and start doing the army comps. So as I was going to say, that we're going to go ahead and get into the army comps really quick. If you guys do not like me doing these at the beginning of the battle, strictly because you can only see half the army comps, and I just have to see them as they come in for the other side due to the fog of war added. let me know. But for now, I'll continue to do them until I get somebody specifically asking in the comments down below. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, guys. This is one fucking awesome battle. And if you aren't doing that shit, then you just don't, you're fucking whack. Anyways, getting into this. So my army is the part of the Army of the Tennessee Hardee's Corps. I'm bringing the 5th Georgia, Thomasville Zouaves. So get a look on these guys. Pretty good looking characters here. Coming up the road. Behind them, I have 3 Breckinridge's divisions. Right there. And then I have, fighting with them, 3 Claiborne's divisions. Behind them, I have the 3rd Mississippi. Get a good look at those guys. Then behind them, I have the 10th Tennessee Irish. Behind them, I have the 1st Kentucky Orphan Brigade. I actually have 3 of these guys. These are my star units for the army. These will help with morale boost when my general is not nearby. Speaking about generals, where is my general? Oh, it's over here, making them think I'm not on the road. So my general is the Major General Claiborne. So very cool, very cool. The Stonewall of the West. All right, and for my cavalry, I have a unit of the Confederate Early Wars, 60 men in them, and 2 3-inch 4-gun batteries for counter battery. To my left, being controlled by Jägerfänger Corps, is the other half of the Army of the Tennessee, being commanded by Polk's Corps. And he actually does have General Polk on the field here, but I do not know where it is. He's on the field. Oh yeah, he's already here. He's general fainting. So General Polk is over here being protected by his late war regiment cavalry. Over here, he has his full army of the Chetham's division out front. He has a 12th Tennessee in the back, Company D. Get a look at them. These guys are pretty cool looking. All right, in front of them, leading is the Mississippi Volunteers. 2 of these guys. These are kind of militia-like Mississippi units. These guys, actually 3 of them. 3 Mississippi Volunteers. And then behind them, he's supporting them is 3 Manning's brigades. Those are his elites, and then a regular infantry unit. Out front for them, their artillery units consist of 4 3-inch 4-gun batteries and a 2nd unit of cavalry, which is the Confederate Early War Cavalry. Moving on to his left, being commanded by the 2nd Corps, which is 69th North Carolina Husky. He has 4 guns, or excuse me, he has 4 guns of 3 inches and 4 guns of the 12-pound Napoleon smoothbores. In front of those, he has a sharpshooter unit, a skirmisher unit, and it looks like a skirmish unit from Polk's Corps going out front. So I'm not going to include skirmish units because, well, there's skirmish units and not really important. There's a sharpshooter here from Polk's Corps. 2nd Corps is bringing through the wheat field. They're bringing the Baldwin Blues, one of the favorite Confederate Zouave units on the field for a lot of people. The Montgomery True Blues, the 14th North Carolina. Behind them is the 3rd Alabama with their cool backpacks. Being supported by them is a bunch of volunteer infantry units in the Louisiana Tigers. 2nd Maryland Infantry, my Maryland boys on the field. 2nd Maryland Infantry, truest of volunteers, Marylanders were. Being commanded by them is General Johnson of the 2nd Corps. This is Allegheny Johnson. He is captured at Spotsylvania Courthouse when the Union does that big assault on the Muleshoe. He has captured leading elements of the 2nd Corps, including the Stonewall Brigade. Allegheny Johnson was known for being a big man, and he did not carry a sword, but he carried a club. And so when they were being attacked on the fortifications of the Muleshoe, he was seen atop the ramparts, knocking Yankees off him with his big club. He is a big guy from, well, the Allegheny Mountains of Virginia. So very cool guy, very cool guy. Alright, so I was just going ahead and showing some of them. I'm not gonna narrate it all, but we get the Army of the Valley with Ramsier's division here. Kershaw's division, South Carolinians. Ramsier is North Carolinians. Gordon's brigade, more Kershaw's. Gordon led a bunch of Georgians. He himself was a politician from Georgia. Kershaw's more of those guys. Hayes LA brigade is actually Louisiana Tigers. Evans brigade is a portion of Gordon's old brigade that went on the Pickett's charge. And Terry's Virginia brigade, which is the remnants of the Stonewall Brigade. Not many of those guys left though in this time period for the Army of the Valley. And of course we have early war regiments for Army of the Valley, which is kind of, you know, rather not indicative of what the Army of the Valley is supposed to represent, which is a late war depleted army. And then 2 sharpshooter regiment, 2 skirmisher regiments out front for them, and that is going to be all for those. So I'm only really going to show the army comps in depth for these guys. The artillery battle is going ahead and kicking off, and my units are about to engage 1st Corps. 1st Corps, of course, is, like I said before, is being commanded by Goodwood. Out front here just has some volunteer infantry units. Robinson's division, some more volunteer. He has a skirmisher screen going out of 2 skirmish units, including a sharpshooter unit, and then some Union lay war to protect them from any cav charges. He has 2 4-gun 3-inch batteries like myself, except one of his is Chevron, leading his artillery battle. The Iron Brigade is coming up to his left flank, followed by the Bucktail Brigade, and that army is being led by a Standard Union General. Actually, I forgot to check this. 5th Corps is being led by a Standard Union General. Cumberland is being led by Grant. Very cool, very cool. General Grant is on the field. And where's 2nd Corps General? 2nd Corps General is Hayes. Very cool. Alright, looks like some more units being revealed from 1st Corps. We have some more volunteer infantry units, and it seems like that's the bulk of volunteer Robinson's division, and then some of the wow, you see those round shots coming in, just fucking rolling through dudes. Very cool, very cool. Skirmisher screens are starting to meet up with each other. 2nd Corps, Polk Corps, and are meeting up, and some of the Valley skirmishers are meeting up with the Army of the Cumberland, 5th Corps, and well, Cumberland. Skirmisher screen. So these are the skirmisher battles setting off. They're developing the lines of battle for what will be, and we're getting ready to come off. So my unit's coming down the road. I'm detaching my 5th Georgia and my Thomasville Zouaves off to my right flank. Since I did use a road, I'm out way ahead of the rest of the army. But again, the idea is that we need control. Since we have almost an equal amount of points here, as you can see, I've expanded the map a little bit for you guys. We have a 4-point here and a 4-point here, okay? Those are 2 big points. That's 4 on each side. But we have 2 here, that's 6. But they have 3, as you can see. So either Valley needs to come up and take this from Cumberland, or 2nd Corps and Polk need to come up and take this from 2nd Corps and 5th Corps, or I need to come up and take this from 1st Corps and Goodwood. So we're going to see what develops from there on. So you see I'm starting to form my battle lines off. I could just go ahead and go straight down the road and try and get straight into it, but as I tell everybody, a formed attack. Do not attack in piecemeal. Do not attack one at a time. Do not have one thing step off and 3 minutes later another thing step off. Step off at once. Go forward at once. As you're about to see, my whole line is about to start moving forward and getting into a screening position. These are going to go ahead and go forward and develop a shooting line. As you can see, I can put 3 men here against essentially 1. I'll be just out of range of these dudes here, so I can do 3-on-1 here. You're about to see that happen. And no infantry is anywhere else close, because nobody else can really use roads except for me and Goodwood. That's why we're meeting each other so early. Oh, so I am about to get that. Alright, so I'm about to do a 3v2 essentially. I'm about to take any losses yet? No losses quite yet. But I am dealing some losses back to them. So these are volunteer units. So these are 2 18 accuracy units, while my Breckenridges are 21 accuracy. So technically I have 3 units. That's 63 accuracy on the field versus essentially 26. So you do the math yourself and you'll see who will win that battle. And you see Goodwood is a smart player. He realizes he's in a little bit of an exposed position here, and he's going to retreat to a more fortifiable position where more men can be engaged at once. So I could keep pushing while he's falling back, but again, you got to wait till all your guys are together, and I'm going to be doing that. Also, I'm a little cautious of pushing forward too fast. So as you can see, 2nd Corps and Polk's Corps are kind of inside of each other. The match started off very quickly. Actually, funny story is that one of the players on one of our sides accidentally clicked ready when he had deployed all his troops, but not necessarily that all the teams are ready. What you typically do is you wait for both teams to be ready. You type into the game chat, "Are you guys ready?" And we all click the button at once, because one person clicks the button, it forces everybody else in the game on both sides to be ready within 60 seconds. And that's what happened. So we had to get really fast and get into it. So the battle lines are a little confused. You see the Union Army has amassed a huge cavalry force here. They have 2 Union late war cavalries, the best cavalry the Union can bring. The Wilders Brigade, which is the most elite special cavalry unit the Union has, and 3 mid-wars. So this is a ridiculously formidable cavalry force here on our flank. I mean, honestly, these 6 cav units could take on formed infantry regiments and maybe win, just due to the massive numbers. They're popping some shots off of this late war, but not many shots are hitting. You see here, he actually does have quite a bit of local infantry support. He could get these guys firing overhead, but they're going to try and move forward to take out their infantry. Ooh. Yeah, so this Confederate late wars have higher stats than the Union late wars, but they have less men. So they'll win in a long-range shootout, but they're moving forward to eliminate the amount, the stats. The closer you are, the less stats matter, because you see, boom, oh my god, they're point blanking them. The less stats matters. So that's why they're moving forward so aggressively. However, they are going to take a little bit of damage. This Kershaw can start firing off to secure that flank from cavalry. Back here on this side of the field, you see artillery ripping through these units. You've seen some units already taking 7 losses here. Whoa, 20 some losses there. And that's coming from the Union 10 pounders up here on this hill. I mean, the Union on this map has a clear advantage, not only firepower, but position for their guns too. These Parrots will rip apart any artillery unit, including any infantry unit it can get its eyes on. Not only do they have a station there of 10 pounders, they have a station back here, 10 pounders. And you're thinking it's far away, so it won't really matter that much. You are wrong, my friends. It matters greatly, because the 10 pounders have the longest range of any gun in the game, so they will control the battlefield if you bring them. Although they do have they are a bit more costly. So, where you see my attack is stepping off. I have a double rank going here against this volunteer unit. As you can see, they're already down to almost 200 men, while I may be suffering 20 losses to 5 losses to 9 losses in some regiments. I'm inflicting a lot of damage. I essentially have, let me see, 21, so 36 plus whatever the Breckenridge's is in 3rd Mississippi. I have a lot of accuracy fire on this unit, and you can see they're getting ripped. They are ripped to bits. Yeah, not good. But Gilbert has a really well-formed line on this, protecting this one. And as you can see, the cav units out here harassing this 4 point. They can take this 4 point, it's no question when. But if we can take one of these 1 points, it'll be a slight victory in our favor by 1 point. So you see that in order to put the pressure back on me, since I'm focusing a lot of men here, he'll focus a lot of men elsewhere, and he does have bucktail brigades, which is 27 accuracy. These Thomasville and these 5th Georgia are not nearly as elite as the Bucktails and the Iron Brigade, which are coming onto this flank, so I'll need to refuse this here soon. I do have some cavalry contingents here on the back right flank to protect this artillery, and from any cavalry on our right flank getting into the background. I am taking some fire from 5th Corps in the center, who is in this apple orchard. 2nd Corps is attempting to assault this apple orchard. My 2nd Maryland boys are going in to try and take it from them. But unfortunately, we learned during the battle, just from looking at performance and how things were going, that obviously this orchard was considered a wood line, and that unfortunately means that I use this analogy all the time. If you're in the woods, okay, say if you're in the open field and you take a volley, 2 units, they both lose 3 units in that volley, right? That traded volley. That's the 10 pounders going off. You see that fucking shit? Yeah, that's what I thought. Run away, guys. But if you're in the woods, say one of those units were in the woods, so they both took 3 volleys out in the open, but if they're in the woods, that one unit that's in the woods only takes 1 of those 3 losses, while the guy in the open field takes all 3. So essentially, quote unquote, 1 unit in the woods could hold off 3 units in the open temporarily, but it is quite a significant difference that you need to watch out for. My artillery is trying to take out 1st Corps infantry, so we're in a little bit of a stalemate. As you can see here, I've already routed 1 unit, and the unit behind it is getting taken out just as fast. I mean, this is 5 units on 1 essentially is what's happening here, and the units he has to support, he doesn't have any elites behind these lines, and he's getting ripped up pretty bad. Claiborne is pushing his men to the max, and they are taking significant ground over here. You see he's trying to find another way to attack this, but he only has volunteer against Claiborne's elite men from the Army of the Tennessee. So Breckenridge is moving forward, although he's getting a lot of support from the flank. As you can see here, I'm taking a lot of damage attacking these woods. I have some units behind me, but they are not being engaged, so my left flank is out in the wind. You can see that Claiborne's that we had before didn't take that much damage, but I come back a little bit later and they take a lot of damage. Holy crap. Baldwin Blue's taking huge damage from those 10 pounders. So actually, these guys, this was done quite a while. This battle was done back in November, and this has been a longer awaited replay in the community for me to do. But we've had a data patch or a small patch since then to fix how deadly 10 pounders were. And it was that match that made us realize they were a little broken, because they got some deadly shots off in this game. It was ridiculous. So you see, without infantry support, they're not risking their cav units, and Valley has too many men over here. The Army of the Valley, Dark Chieftain has too many men over here, so they're not going to do this. It's in a little bit of a stalemate, because how can 2nd Corps and the Valley go up against, you know, this uphill position, layers upon layers of Union troops behind here, uphill against cavalry on your left flank, superior cavalry, and artillery support in the back? You just can't do it. So So we're going to take a quick hot minute to check out some of the infantry units from 5th Corps that are being engaged. We have the 5th New York, some Zouave infantry. I'm going to actually put this in the slow motion really quick. Crawford's division, 2 units of those, 20th Maine, Union veteran infantry, some volunteer in here, the 13th Pennsylvania Reserve unit, the volunteer, of course you got a standard Union general behind them. 2nd Corps has the Irish Brigade out front, trying to get some point blank shots on these guys. They're taking out quite a bit of these 6th North Carolinians. The Irish Brigade have bucking balls, so they have almost half the range of every other unit, but if they get up close, for every 1 shot they shoot 2, so they can do a lot of damage. To their right, they have the 39th New York, the 10th New York, the 20th Massachusetts. Did I say Massachusetts over here for the Maine? I meant 20th Maine over there if I did say it. He has another unit of the Irish Brigade, and those are all 3 of his star units. Some volunteer here in the back, 1st Minnesota, it's an elite. Zouave infantry, volunteer, Union veteran infantry. Hayes is leading the way. Behind him, he has some more volunteer infantry coming up. Ready to be some cannon fighters. King's regular brigade being led by Grant. And Cumberland is extending to the far right. They give some infantry support behind this cavalry so they can do something with themselves. There's so much cavalry over here. Holy crap. And the Stonewall Brigade is ripping these guys up. As you can see, these guys are falling by the wayside. But he's trying to move up. He's trying to push us, but you just can't attack that. That's not an attackable position, especially with cavalry. Cavalry doesn't work like that, guys. But I understand your need to harass it early. So you see Polk is moving up in the center. Polk is taking a lot of damage. That was an artillery shot guaranteed. As you can see here, not only he has a beautiful position. This is another reason you couldn't attack. It's not only this woods. This unit can fire. This unit is firing. The veteran infantry is firing over the head of that unit. And behind them, even the volunteer behind there can fire over the head of this unit. There's this weird valley going on here in the center, and you can just quadruple stack men. You see that this Chetham's is already going into almost a routing. They just routed 193 men. That's how many men they lost so fast. You can see them laying dead right there. That is, I mean, once I saw that happening, I pretty much called off the attack on the wheat field. I realized that was not a tenable attack, and I told him just to stay at max firing range, set up a demonstration, but not an effective attack. Come back to that Claiborne's that was on my left flank, and he's now down to 128 men. He's getting ripped up. I think the only one of my units to really be taking that much damage. You see, my units have been in the fight from the beginning. I haven't even reached what this one unit has reached in that time. He's just taking a lot of damage. So something added in with the submod is a more effective morale system, more realistic. So a unit will rout 190 men, but that unit may come back twice more in the battle and be routed twice more. Units did not just stick in there until they all died in the Civil War. They would give up the ground and come back and fight for it again once they've regrouped. So that's what you see here, some of the units from before regrouping, routing. And him having his general over here could help secure these to make sure they stay on the field. But it's good he has these reserves to help out. And you see here, his unit's just getting ripped up. As you can see, I did end up refusing that flank, and I'm keeping these elites locked up over here at max firing. As you see, I haven't lost a whole lot of men, although I haven't dealt back a lot of damage either. And this is on purpose. If you stay at max firing range, you'll still fire each other, but not a lot of people will die. So I can use this to make it look like something's happening over here. So he's like, wow, I'm ripping him up. I have all 4, my elites firing at him. Well, yeah, you have 4 units of elites firing at 2 units, but we're at max firing range. This is representative of maybe 900 yards, the max range for our guns. So not a lot of people are dying very fast. Maybe 1 or 2 people dying per volley at the most. So I can really hold up 4 of his units against 2 of my more weaker units while I drive through the center here. As you can see, that's exactly what is happening. My Claiborne's is going forward. So as you can see here, I kind of a little underestimated that he had almost a fresh volunteer infantry here ready to do some point blanks. So maybe moving this Breckinridge that was already a little weaker than the rest of the line up was a little premature. But as you can see here, I need to do something about this contingency here that's really hurting me. They're really forming a defense on this barn, coupled with the orchard here. You see, this unit's about to break. They've made it down to 67 men. I mean, who wouldn't? But I have taken a big part of this road from them, and I am technically in control of this one now. So now the Confederates are technically winning the battle. However, I'm not pushing for it too hard. He's pushing again with his Iron Brigade, and I'm not going to let him get any closer than max firing range. If I can keep him back here, I can retreat him back to my guns, and we can canister them. As you can see, he's not going to do that either. So now I have tied up a bunch of his elites over here, while my elites are going into the battle over here to get some actual firing done. See, My Kentucky orphans are now getting into the battle. Got my Breckenridge's division, ones I've been in the battle for a long time, actually getting out ahead of the line. And they're going to retreat using the road to get back a little bit faster. My orphans are taking it up the fight with their superior accuracy. The orphans have about as much accuracy as the Gordon's brigade. They have 30 accuracy compared to the Bucktails brigade's 27 accuracy. So making very good developments over there on the right flank. And the attack in the center is really kicking off. You have men firing over the heads of other men. I mean, guys, this is just beautiful fucking battle here, man. The Stonewall Brigade's engaged. 14th North Carolina taking a lot of damage here, but they need to hold this little wood line. The 20th Massachusetts Harvard Regiment pushing them out of there. The Irish Brigade is engaged, but they are at max firing range. These people aren't max firing range since they have less men. This is about 100 range here, so they'll still be taking a... Oh, you see this? See all that right there? That's the Baldwin Blues dying to these... I mean, they can literally keep this battle up by staying literally back right here. And I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to stay just outside of the Irish Brigade's range, and they're actually firing at them too. You cannot... You just can't fire in that. You can't fight those guys. You gotta stay back and shoot them, because all those 211 men is technically 422 bullets firing out. So they're putting out twice the amount of men, or twice the amount of shots that they have. And Cumberland the Cumberland Assault by Grant, supported by the Harrows Division from 2nd Corps, is coming on to this orchard on the far right flank for the Union, far left flank for the Confederacy, where Valley is holding. So that Cav finally has their infantry support. Kershaw's still out there in the open to try and protect that. And some Napoleons helping defend. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful, guys. This is, I mean, I don't know how you get more realistic than this. In terms of like real feel, real numbers, real deaths. So you see on my side, I'm actually starting to take a lot more damage. Because I keep... Oh, look at this. My Early War Cavalry is using the road to ride up the center. Using the road to ride right up the center. And these guys do not have shots off yet. And my cavalry is going to go for their general. Holy crap. Yeah, he was not prepared for that, I don't think. And Early War Cavalry has shotguns. You're about to see the shotguns go off. Who'd they hit? Who'd they hit? Oh, they hit the freaking general unit. You see how many men just laid down there? They're like, I'm tired. I go to sleep. So those shotguns, which are essentially like Irish Brigade on the move, were able to take out 1st Corps general riding up through the center. You see I've punched a huge hole through his lines. And just trying to push through the attack a little bit harder, because I'm just taking too much damage on this hinge here. Honestly, looking back at it now, I should have kept this line back here and pushed this line further up. But hindsight's 2020, right? So these 20 pounders is a big reason why we're getting hit so hard right there. And again, we fixed that because 20 pounders are doing way too much damage this game. But I'll move these Confederate early wars up the hill to take out these guns. But they are tired, so I need to be careful of their fatigue. 1st Corps is quickly and very smartly reforming his lines. Good plan by 1st Corps to react so quickly. I'm trying to press through the attack as quick as I can. And Polk's coming up with some support. Because essentially I was fighting off a portion of 5th Corps and all of 1st Corps while on the attack. Meanwhile back here, 2nd Corps is pulling off their attack. You can see the amount of damage they took. It was kind of a 1-for-1 trade, to be honest with you, though. Irish Brigade's still pulling out with a lot of men left, but they did take some damage. They did have another Irish Brigade, so yeah, Irish Brigade took a lot of damage, but they dealt a lot too. Every one of these units engaged in Irish Brigade. 2nd Corps is very smartly switching in and out units, so no one unit took too much damage, but still a lot of damage was taken. Hayes Division looking over the retreat of Cumberland's attack, and we're going to wait to see. You can see just lines of men here, and the lines of men on the other side too. They're taking damage. No one person can take the field. They're trying to make up for what's left here, because if they can take this 4, because I've taken this once, so technically we're in a victory position, so they're trying to break through over here. But luckily, the majority of our army is right here. I'm rather extended, fighting a little bit of this and this. Polk is coming over to help me now that some of the pressure is being relieved on 2nd Corps and the Army of the Valley. You see my 3rd Mississippi that we saw earlier on the road has taken almost 50% casualties. The battle is getting real serious here, guys. Orphan Brigade ripping up some dudes, and 10 pounders are almost completely taken out. They had, I mean, look how many guns they have, guys. I mean, Jesus Christ. They had literally 12 guns of 10 pounders up here. Crazy shit, dude. My guys are not done. They're very tired. I mean, come on. Look at what they've done. Who's firing at them? Oh, the freaking 13th Pennsylvania and some cav units from 1st Corps that came from the other side of the field are now coming up the hill, but my shotguns are putting them back down. It's hard to fire back at them when I'm in melee, but my cav unit is now being shot by the 13th Pennsylvania Reserve Bucktails. Unlike the other Bucktails, they are only 150 men, but they have repeater rifles that fire extremely fast. So they're like machine guns on the field. But I did trade the cav unit for a general and 8 10-pounders and essentially a Union late war. So I would say a pretty good trade there, guys. So as you can see here, the Iron Brigade is back on this side of the field now. You see he brought them back over. He realized I was holding his Iron Brigade out there in the wind for a while. So he's starting to bring them back over the sharpest flank, but a lot of this has been lost. I just need to capitalize now on the ground I've gained to help secure my spot in the one now that I've taken it. You see Polk still has some of those Mississippi Volunteers behind my line, and he's just setting up a long-range I guess you can say display against the orchard that he cannot attack. Ooh, good shot. Oh, literally one dude died. Holy crap. F in chat, guys. Holy crap. The volunteer unit. So Grant's army made an unsuccessful attack against a very well fortified picket line here made by the 3rd Alabama and portions of the Stonewall Gate and the Montgomery True Brews. I've said that twice now. Brews. Rangers divisions from North Carolinians, some South Carolinians from Kershaw, Georgians. Nice. Ooh, another good shot. Those are those Napoleons firing off, hitting the 11th Indiana Volunteers. Hayes is leading the battle today, and Hayes' division is on the field and they're engaged. So my unit did come back, but they are extremely tired, so I'm not touching them, because if I make them run and get tired again, they'll achieve more morale penalties and maybe rout off the field. They're already achieving penalties from being behind enemy lines and being detached from my army, so, and taking losses, of course, plus fatigue, so you got to be careful with fatigue nowadays. So the Iron Brigade has now replaced what has been lost over here, so I am fighting the full force of 1st Corps at this point. And you see I'm starting to feel the effect of such an aggressive push. Getting closer around those guys. And the Mississippi Volunteers still behind the lines trying to help out. I've still, literally, if this was not here, I would have been able to drive through this center long ago, but I've been too afraid. I can't leave this left flank out in the wind for this orchard to come up behind it. So I have not been able to capitalize. And because that orchard was there and I wasn't able to capitalize, 1st Corps was able to bring their elites back over here. So it's been rather unfortunate. We're at a standstill over here on the other side of the field. I mean, this orchard is essentially a Union hornet's nest. We cannot get into there. And the Union Army is, you know, essentially cruxing off that point. Union Army still has one of their most elite, 2nd Corps still has one of their most elite units, the Minnesota Volunteers. And they are still at full health, so. 2nd Corps, although a little bloodied on that attack, still very healthy, and 2nd Corps did take a lot of damage there. Alright, more men starting to retreat. I mean, 1st Corps, this is proper morale management. He knows when he cannot hold the ground. Great playing by Goodwood, smart playing. And I mean, this is why this is one of the best battles I've ever played, because strong aggressive tactics, realistic losses, realistic numbers, realistic tactics, and smart playing by everybody. I mean, you can't get any better than that. This is not scripted. This is nothing. This is pure on competitive players. We're all buddies, but trust me, we're all trying to win this at all costs. So there's no bullshit in here, guys. This is the real stuff. This is as legit as you can get in this mod in terms of competitive players and competitive playing. My 1st Kentucky Orphans going up. I'm a little confused. There we go. I refused the line. I probably wasn't paying attention. I usually am microing other people, but 1st Corps reformed their line. Now I'm reforming my Kentucky Orphan Brigades because they still have quite a bit of men left to take some of the 4 shots and get in there with their elite accuracy. However, I am ordering the Mississippi Volunteers from Polk's Corps up the road. You can see how fast they're moving, and technically they're still walking. Being on roads is like running, free running, but walking. And if, for those who don't know, in this mod, if you're walking, you're technically gaining back fatigue you would have lost if you were running. So it's a great way of utilizing speed and logistics if you use the road. So the Mississippi Volunteers have full reloads ready to go. They have 206 men, 240 men in that unit, quite a bit of men left. And we're going to see if we can get them up here and get some point blank shots off, and we can force an even quicker route of this Union line. So here we go, we have the Mississippi Volunteers lining up. Now I'm telling you, this is some aggressive playing, guys. This is as aggressive as a Confederate attack can get. And we have actual Hardee and actual Polk leading their corps. This is the Army of the Tennessee at its full. Oh, there you go. See, Goodwood held his men's fire until the unit came up to get point blank back off at us, and then he's moving a reserve behind the line where he knows it's going to break. Again, guys, there's no tricks that you can really pull it back. The other players don't know this happening. These are elite players, good playing like Goodwood. But still, that's 100, you know, whatever. That was like 140 men about 3 seconds ago, and that's 106. You can see the devastation that comes off from that. But we have some men running. This is the first men that are running, and that's 76 men from the Kentucky Orphans. And it is these 13th Pennsylvania Reserve Corps. So we actually had to release a data patch to fix these guys because their accuracy was incredibly too high. I think they ended up pulling like 700 kills in this game, and they should have only pulled about. You can see they're literally not even sitting back down; they're just shooting. Look at that! Look how fast they're firing. They're literally just sitting up and shooting. Yeah, you can see the Mississippi Volunteers are getting whipped up by them. You see this was the 240 man unit. It's down to 164 now because of this one unit here. So I ended up having to look at that. I'm telling you, this unit should be firing 1/8 of the fire it's going on now. So the typical for a repeating rifle, actually it's got 20 men on that volley. I'm telling literally 3 units. I'm focusing my Claiborne's division and my Breckinridge division to specifically target this unit to take it out. And I realized, I'm like, holy crap, that unit's doing a little too well. And so I realized I need to take it out. So I'm going to start pushing up men to specifically target this unit. And I realized this has been the crux this whole time. This one unit ends up getting like 700 kills. An elite unit put in the perfect position in any given game should only get about 300 to 400 kills. And that's in the perfect position, guys. These guys got 700 kills. That tells you how, I mean, this unit literally is like 3 elites on the field, essentially, in one guy. So we had to release it. Also in the same data patch, we fixed the 10 bounders. We fixed these guys. But in this match, they're all out going. They're fucking to the T realistic firing on these guys. Oh, right in the head there. So the muskets in this game fire at about 1/3 of the speed that they do in real life. So about 1.5, 1.25 bullets per minute per infantry unit, while in real life obviously you get about 3 bullets off per minute from an elite unit. These guys could only get about 5. They could get about 5 shots off in 1 minute with the new repeater rifles, and they're getting about 5 shots off per minute when they should be getting maybe 2 shots off per minute, having 2 times the speed as the normal guys. So yeah, we fixed that, but for the time being, I'm having to train 3 men on 1 unit just to take it out. And literally, that's the only reason this attack has stalled, is because that one freaking unit. You can see, not only did it push back the Mississippi Volunteers, it has about ripped up these guys in about 2 volleys. So, and you see, First Corps is no longer a problem. First Corps is falling apart. Claiborne's on the field. He's leading his men in person, and there you go. That route's, that's about the route. That's about the route. All 3 units, essentially 4 units lost just to take out 1 guy. This is so bad, guys. And this unit, luckily, was being used to try and take out my cav in the back. If this has been firing the whole time, it would have got easily over 1,000 kills this game. So luckily we took that out. And again, still a standstill happening over here. That's why I'm not really focusing on it, guys. Just people are replacing their men. They're trying to figure out what to do, trying to figure out how they want to do it. It's kind of a standstill going off there. And still 93 men left in that bucktails. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 units to take out 1. Now I'm having to train my orphans on them now too, because all the units, those units are gone, and Claiborne's behind there trying to tell them not to route, keep them up. All right, Army of the Valley has pushed in their cavalry that was here on the flank with my cavalry. My cavalry's gone now though at this point. It was in the background doing its work, but now he's engaged his, now that he left his First Corps left his skirmishers out in his retreat, and he's going to move up and take out those 3 inches to provide room for my 5th Georgia and my Claiborne's division, along with my Mississippi, my Thomasville as well, to come up. Alright, so the Army of the Tennessee, being led by me, has not only taken out one army, essentially First Corps, it is now fully engaged with a 2nd Army, 5th Corps, and their elites. So in order to compensate for how much I'm taking on, Polk is starting to come over to replace my losses. And essentially I'm the one holding the victory here, so if they can hold me or stop me from dying, we'll be alright. So that's what they're doing right now. It's still a standstill going off here. Nobody really... Ooh, you just... I mean, this volunteer pretty much died straight to... Look at this. That's literally just from the 10-pounder. See that? Okay, it keeps hitting the same spot. Yeah, we fixed those. Alright, Manny's brigade coming up. Those are elites from Polk's Corps. Gonna come up to support. And as you can see, the 13th Pennsylvania is now about gone. There they go. We trained so many guys on that stupid unit. I mean, you can see literally they've laid down hundreds of men here just trying to take them out alone. This would have been gone 10 minutes ago if those guys were not there. Freaking crazy. You see that one volunteer unit's about to rout just from 10-pounder fire. Look at that. That's why we had to fix it. So when people ask me proper damage, so we're trying to get realistic damages. When you look at any chart of the Civil War, about 48% of the deaths during battle of the Civil War were musketry fire. 5% approximately were 100% of the deaths overall period in the Civil War. Almost 50% of it was like disease or whatever. There was 48% musketry fire, 1% bayonets deaths, and then it was like 5 to 6% artillery fire. So we need to represent accurately that out of your army, only about 10% of your deaths or kills given should be from your artillery. Your artillery should be a supporting unit, not a killing unit, if you understand. Meant to break the lines up. As you can see, it's breaking lines up, but not meant to, you know, be killing hundreds of men on the field. That's really your infantry's job. So after ridiculously aggressive playing by me and Claiborne and Polk leading the Army of the Tennessee up this Confederate right flank, it is retreating again, all pivoting off this stupid orchard. That orchard was not there. This would be a whole different story. Freaking stupid orchard. But now the attack is kind of stalled out. I'm gonna be trying to use this stone wall here to protect my men who are now depleted from some of the damage. Some of these elites are still left from First Corps, about 4 units, maybe a total 3 units from First Corps is left. So it's inevitable. The rule of thumb in war, when you're attacking anywhere, you should have 3 times the attacking force as the defending force. So I guarantee you it not. I actually have it up right here. Goodwood had 3,500 men versus my 3,300 men. So theoretically, in terms of rules of war, I should have had like 9,000 men for a guaranteed successful attack. And then of course I took on some of the 5th Corps too, and 5th Corps fielded 3,600 men in this game. So do what you will though. So the game is, game's in a little bit of a standstill, guys. We're trying to figure out what to do against each other. We know if one of us commit to a major attack, it's going to be the end of it. And since we have the high we don't have the high ground, but we have the high ground on this side, so it's over, Anakin. Nobody wants to commit to a major attack, and we know that will be the end of it. But as you can see now, Polk's starting to replace the ground that I took, and my men are coming up the road. Who's coming up the road here? Breckinridge was the 1st division engaged, and to still see Breckinridge on the field is quite incredible. And then behind him we have the 3rd Mississippi Volunteers. We saw them on the road earlier. Some Claibornes, 5th Georgia, 10th Tennessee, 1st Kentucky, and Thomasville. So this one Breckenridge unit is the only one left of his unit, and this Claiborne is the only one left of those. So out of those 6 units, we only have 2 left, 1 from each division. As you can see, in order to take this 1 point back, they are constantly shifting units down towards me because they know I'm the weakest, and 5th Corps has some fresh men. You see this? Oh, what is this? 250 men? I don't. At this point, I'm like, bruh, I'm happy to have a 100-man unit, you know. Oh, and these guys are fucking back! They are back! Dude, these guys do not go away! And they're on light infantry formation, so it's even harder to hit them, bro. Bro. Dude, it's so OP. Look how many chevrons they have, guys. Oh my god, I'm so happy we fixed these guys. I am so happy we fixed them. I think I'm again specifically focusing these guys now. So ridiculous. And I actually moved my my 3-inch. I only have 2 guns left in the battery, but I have over the half of the battery. I have the entire crewman left, but I lost over 2 of the guns due to counter battery. So it's still an effective battery, and I'm moving it to help support. So this is actually freaking crazy. So I actually noticed this during the middle of the battle. I actually noticed this earlier, but I didn't commentate on it then. I wanted it to be a surprise. So just when I'm weak and Polk's starting to try to re-secure my flank, not only do I have 5th Corps moving over, but 2nd Corps completely abandons the center and appears with his elites onto the flank. It is going to be a dedicated counterattack from the last remnants of 1st Corps, support from 5th and 2nd Corps onto our attack. So after noticing this, you see I'm starting to run men into position because, and we're starting to try to clear things out of the way because, I mean, look at this. We just take a few seconds to realize I have 84 men in this unit, 133 there, 160 there, 131 there, 110 there. I mean, like, I got no men above like 160, 130 is my main guys. And we got 250, 248, 190 elite Iron Brigade, best unit thing other than the Stonewall. Bucktails 160, Volunteer 250, Volunteer 480. Harrows 250, Harrows 490, 39th, they took a pretty big hit. Irish Brigade, but remember, even though it's 119 men, that's times 2, guys. So 242 men, freaking 180 plus change. Sorry, Hayes Division. I mean, this is a lot of men versus not a lot of men. So as you can see, I'm telling Polk to put more men on the road immediately. Get them down to me because they didn't take this 1 point back. I mean, that's a wrap. And we still have 18 minutes left in the battle. So this is completely winnable. And seeing this, I ordered a general attack everywhere else. I told everybody, if 2nd Corps abandoned the center, that means you only have remnants of 2nd Corps and Cumberland over here by themselves. I ordered a general attack from all my commanders. I said, attack. Your orders are to attack. And as you can see here, Valley and 2nd Corps are getting into motion and attacking. If it doesn't look like the Army of Valley is attacking that hard, it's because the Army of Valley is a depleted 2nd Corps put into the Valley in 1864 during the Petersburg siege to protect from people burning things like VMI and other towns and, you know, village, you know, houses and stuff like that from being terrorists essentially. So it's detached 2nd Corps, but they are extremely depleted. So they have, but they are elite of the elite. This is the end of the war 2nd Corps. They have been in almost every battle you can think of, right? I mean, this is Jackson's old command later on. So it's detached and it's weakened, but they have the best stats ever. So they can afford to stay at 3/4 to half range while still doing point blank type of range. They are extremely elite, but the downside is you can see they only spawn with 230 to 225 men in their ranks, where everybody else has 250. So that's the trade-off. So if it doesn't look like he's pushing too hard, he is. 2nd Corps can afford to get a lot closer. He has the thicker lines. Alright, General Hayes leading the retreat back. Now, see, they're gonna fold back like a door on this crux here. And we essentially, there's no way we're gonna be able to take that. You see, this unleashed a full volley, and they're gonna fire back and kill all these guys. And this is a wood line, you can't take it. So they're gonna keep crutching back on this, using this orchard they realize is a great advantage, and their guns up here on the hill to protect while they try and push me and Polk's army back on the other side. And as you see, there's a general attack, counter-attack going on this entire side of the field. So we have 2 counter-attacks going on. So Union attacks here to begin with, and now the Confederacy counter-attacking back. Confederacy attacked over here, and then the Union is attacking back. I mean, that does not get more, like, I mean, I could place monuments on this field to the battle type shit. I mean, this is such like realistic type of movements, actions from the generals. Absolutely great playing. As you see, there's the reinforcements coming up the roads. Clayburne's at 65 men. Dude, I have no clue what like a full unit is. You know what I mean? Cheatham's behind them. Cheatham is relatively elite. 12 Tennessee only have 180 men because they're company size, but they have a little more buff to them, I guess you can say. So Polk still does have quite a bit of his, excuse me, thicker units back over here. But everything is, you see how far, because we can't attack here. If we attack here, then they'll shoot us from the orchard. If we attack there, they just shoot us from the orchard. This is literally a beehive here. It is the crux of their attack, and they're using it to their full advantage. Smart playing on them. So we just, I mean, they are just out extending. This is literally the situation of the Civil War. They have more men, and they can just out extend us, and we'll just be like a rubber band. You stretch too much and break. So they're going to try to now run men up before we can secure this wood line here. I mean, we've been on the roads for like 20 minutes. We're pulling men down from the center. And they, I mean, this is just such a good counterattack being enacted by 2nd Corps. I mean, this is 2nd Corps is completely on the flank, except for what men they left over there. I mean, such a good counterattack. And now I am running my battery over here to see if my small depleted battery can hold off some men running behind. What's ever happening over here? And remnants of the 1st Corps now coming around. I mean, we essentially have a 6v3 situation happening. Oh, good point blank back from, oh, the Breckinridge and the Clayburns are holding together. Against the Irish Brigade, they got a good point blank off from the Irish Brigade. It's a good thing to put your Irish Brigade on the hinge of your flank, because the hinge is always the closest part of your flank, and they need to stay close. There's a little tips and tricks from Cole on how best to use the Irish Brigade. If you're attacking, put them on the hinge of your attack, the hinge of your flank. A good plan by the 2nd Corps in doing that. I mean, such a general attack here. I mean, what can be done? I'm trying to focus all the men I can on this stone wall to try and take out this Irish Brigade. I don't care how many men I need to train on it. I need to take it out immediately. If he can get rid of this Manning's Brigade, which is an elite, but not only an elite, and a star unit. A star unit will act like a general support range without being able to inspire and rally, on top of him having good stats. So they're very important in the army. God, you see actually a lot of the bullets haven't hit this stone wall. That's why it's important to use a stone wall. And so he had his back and got a volley into the back. That's why this is why you get rid of the Irish Brigade. Holy crap, there's only 81 men, and that's how much damage they're doing. To be fair, you return the damage, but still, this is what I'm talking about. God. I mean, this is literally like, when you think of a Civil War movie, it's like, they volley and they all die, and then they volley and they all die. This is literally it going on. So we're driving back some of the smaller units. 1st Corps is still pushing the advance. They're trying to move over here to take out my guns. But that's essentially why I put the guns over there. I wanted them to be, if I can get at least one infantry unit to not shoot at our infantry units and shoot at my guns, which aren't really going to kill a whole lot of guys, you know, that's good. So I was pretty much sacrificing these guns to give the infantry some time. But this is the Iron Brigade, so we cannot afford to have that on our flank. Iron Brigade and the Bucktails, that's 33, 33, 27 accuracy right there on our faces. And we just do not have the men to fight off this sort of attack. I think the only reason we are holding as long as we are right now is because of the stone wall. Now, another Irish Brigade moved up. Get rid of these dudes! Holy crap! God, so many men are dying here. Oh, we literally have Clayburn and Polk leading both their corps personally on the lines fighting here. I mean, this is, you don't get more badass than this. We'll drive off the 3rd and last Irish Brigade here. We're still getting hit by all these 250 units. Fuck these 250 units, dude. I don't even know what that shit is. I have them over here with 130, 120, 50? Bruh. God, even that haze is hitting these guys hard. The Mannies that was at 210 just a little bit ago is now down to 82 men. And you see he used our generals being close. Since these are star general units, it'll provide extra morale. You're probably thinking, how can you last with so small men? It's because you have star generals nearby. So we're realizing we're taking too much damage from this over here, so we're trying to pull back a little bit from right here. And yeah, so now they're realizing that we're pulling back, they have to move up. So that means we just stopped 4 units from firing us for a meantime. while we can focus on another Irish brigade. Dude, I am telling you, that one that we just saw route must have been one that came back earlier. They now have a 150 Irish brigade on the field. Dude, get out of here with this crap, man. Now we're literally just telling them, like, look, you have 2 units trained on it. Take it out. Luckily, they did not have reloads in. I'm starting to pull my general out a little bit. You see he's getting shot from overhead fire. It's inevitable when you move him up that close. So if you look at this situation, we have the Irish Brigade here, 150, which is essentially 300 men firing onto 3 units, and 3 units of elites from 1st Corps on this flank. I mean, anybody who does math will realize this is the lost cause over here. I mean, we're losing our stone wall slowly. I mean, 2nd Corps just deployed his whole army in a sneak attack. Sorry, I've been focusing on that so much. So you can see, we still can't take this fucking orchard, and the attack is essentially just slowly refusing back the flank. But again, if this orchard wasn't here, we'd be able to actually manipulate an attack on this flank, but we can't, because we can't split our army in half. We can't leave a gap in the center of our army. The 2nd Corps can only commit so much and commit an attack at the same time. So 2nd Corps did leave one of his elites units, his Minnesotas over here. I think that's it. I think it's the only thing left. Brought everything else over. So we were able to route the 39th New York. The Harrows 250. A 250 unit! What even is that? Oh my god. Seeing these thick units is making me so jealous. Irish Brigade still at 129 men doing damage. I mean, guys, do the math. Do the math, guys. There's no way. They have 9 more minutes. They can break this in 9 minutes. We're losing the stone wall. There's nothing we can do. Nothing we can do. And we have a 148 unit about to fire off here. Actually, I don't think they have reloads. They don't have reloads. And guess what? I bet you $100 this is the Claiborne and the... Oh, I get the Claiborne routed early. Yeah, the Claiborne's gone, guys. So we only have, of the first initial 6 attacking units in mine, we only have 1 left. And he is down to 69 men. Haha, nice. Yeah, this is just not good, guys. Although we have been able to drive back the 1 Iron Brigade unit, but we got another one to deal with. Plus a Bucktails. It's like, what can you do? In such reckless hate. The other haze that came in has actually gotten torn up quite a bit. And it looks like I'm getting my Breckenridge, this 3rd Mississippi, and this Manny's are all focusing on it to try and get it to route sooner. But again, 148 Harrows. What the fuck, dude? Where are all these men coming from? I'm just getting everybody like, shoot these fucking, look at my attack damage. Just shoot these dudes. Oh, and guess what? They moved their 10 pounders over. Of course they did. Of course. A 6-gun 10 pounder. Must be, what is it like to play as a Union Army? Jesus Christ. So easy. So easy. But as you can see, I mean, again, the Valley going up against the Cumberland Army. I mean, come on. I mean, Cumberland's doing his can, but he has no support. So 1st Corps is gone. 5th Corps was left of 5th. I mean, 5th Corps has a majority of his army in the Hornet's Nest. As you can see here, he has like, what is it, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 units versus 2, 4, 6 at the most units. So, I mean, it's almost a 2-to-1 situation. 5th Corps is not scared at all. He's winning dramatically. So again, you did have to have 3 times the men to take the forest. Yeah, and see, he thinks he's not going to die as fast, but again, a lot of these guys are very elite. Hayes is one of his stars. The Terry is one of his stars. Where else? Gordon's division. That's not a star unit, but Evans Brigade, that's the other star right there. The 2nd Corps pulling off the attack. He can't do it. 2nd Corps is getting very hurt on this orchard. He just can't do it. I'm telling you, dude, that orchard was not there, this whole story would be different. Holy crap, we drove away the Irish Brigade finally. And the Irish Brigade is gone, and the Harrows are leaving. The Harrows are out of here. And the only thing that's left, oh, we grabbed the other Irish Brigade. Oh, the Iron Brigade is back there. It came back. So we actually appear to be fucking holding. Dude, Major General Claiborne lost over half his general staff, but he is holding. And Polk is holding there strong, losing one of his general staff. And look at that. Breckenridge is holding on to 42 men left. They refuse to give it up. What Chads? What Chads? 40 men. Holy crap. This is literally the Star Generals doing their work here. If people ask, what's the point in paying for a Star General? This is it right here. This is why you pay for Star Generals. $33, $32, $31, $30. Nice. It's freaking volunteer was shooting at them. And 3rd Mississippi getting back on the Stonewall, so we still have men over here on the side. The Irish Brigade came back, so it's not guaranteed, but we appeared to hold off against such a massive Union attack there. And the rest of the battle is slowly developing into a situation where Grant cannot hold off against the Army of the Valley, being led by just a Confederate general. 2nd Corps being led by Allegheny Johnson. He was captured at the Mule Shoe. I'm not sure if I had clarified that, but he was captured there. I mean, who wasn't captured at the Mule Shoe? The whole Stonewall Brigade got captured, essentially. I mean, by that point, there's nobody from the original Stonewall Brigade left. They're either in prison or dead already or wounded back home. There are probably a few guys left, but after that, the Stonewall Brigade is all in prison at that point. Essentially, none of them left. I mean, just every major conflict they've been in the forefront of it, so. Alright, and 5th Corps along with 2nd Corps and 1st Corps realizing that is it. They cannot do it. 1st Corps a little defiant though. They still feel like this is their ground. This is where they're supposed to hold. They want to stay. Oh, 4 men left now. It looks like they're targeting my general in accident. Yeah, I think they're accidentally targeting my general. So actually what you're about to see me do here is you're about to pop a rally, and you're about to see another star go up actually.
Following order.
Yeah, see, they're trying to target him with artillery, which is not acceptable since he's outside of... General sniping is allowed in the game by every unit except for the artillery, and the artillery can only do it if he's up close to the infantry, which he's not, so this is technically no longer fair game. But I rallied. If you did not know, generals can rally and inspire themselves. So you see here, my general's about to rout, which would be super bad for my army. But I rallied and inspired himself so he would not rout, and just gave me enough time to tell him to stop attacking him. Alright, Valley, supported by 2nd Corps, Stonewall Brigade, and 3rd Alabama, are really pushing this Cumberland. Yeah, I was right. Cumberland. And Cumberland's falling apart, and we have 3 minutes left in the battle, guys. Thank you so much for... I mean, this is one of the, most, I mean, when 2nd Corps appeared from that orchard and attacked us, I mean, you guys, you saw firsthand the situation. Me and Jaegerfang were shitting our pants. Such a good game. And the fact is, 1st Corps still has men left in the field after all this fighting today. 2nd Corps, 5th Corps still has men. I still have men. Everybody is still playing on this field. Nobody got completely wiped. And that's realistic. There's no way, you see, Rome or whatever, these units fight until the death. They don't break until 5 minutes left, Realistically, they'll break, rally on the general, and come back into the battle slowly. And that's what you saw here. This is, the most, accurate depiction. As you see, I would push up, then fall back a little bit, and then wait for Polk to come up. Then I pushed again. Then we pushed here, then we fell back, then we pushed back up again. I mean, that's literally how the battle worked. I mean, the Irish Brigade helped take Bloody Lane. But then Bloody Lane was taken back, and then, during that battle, it wasn't just like they ran up, shot, and they ran away, and then they took the lane. It was probably they assaulted the lane several times until they probably did that flanking maneuver and finally, made it what it was, the Bloody Lane. And that's how the Civil War really was. It was several attacks onto the same position made several different times. It wasn't one decisive battle. And the wheat field, even with the big Texas push, traded hand probably 8 times during the day before it was officially claimed by one side or the other side. And that was this here. I mean, I didn't have this. I was taken back, then I pushed forward again, then I took it back, and then now I've taken it forward, but then they almost took it back. I mean, that's how it really works, guys. And I don't think I had a single unit here fight to the death. They all routed at reasonable numbers. I had some route at 150, some route at 32, because he was being, he had Claiborne right next to him. If I had Claiborne right next to me, I'm not going anywhere. If I had Stonewall next to me, I'm not going anywhere, so. You know, and you're gonna see the deaths reflected proportionally when we go here into the battle phase. But it looks like that is it. We have 6 points to 7 points. This is a Confederate victory here today, guys. We have 49 seconds left, and we're just gonna get into our final positions and call it a day. Wouldn't you hate to be the last two to die on this battlefield? Hot. I mean, you just see the lines of men here, just all over. Look at that. This is the Irish Brigade right here, essentially. This is all Irish Brigade. When I was shooting them, trying to get them out of my fucking face. I mean, just... Oh, this is the general unit from earlier. You see how they all just died in a row from that one volley. I mean, just see the lines. You see the several attacks all along different sides of this orchard. I mean, this orchard, I mean, his units in here have taken a lot of damage, but they're still holding. These are the same men that have been fighting there since the beginning. I mean, these lines have not changed. You see why these lines have so many dead men along these lines? It's because they haven't changed. He hasn't lost any ground. It's just impossible to take that. And there we go. So Cumberland is slowly falling apart, but that is the end of the game for today, guys. I mean, holy crap. Let me go over these really quick. So Jaeger deployed 3,100 men, lost 1,400, killing 1,500. Dark Chieftain lost 3,000, deployed 3,000, lost 500, killed 1,700. So you see the destruction of the valley if used correctly at long range without, you know, getting into close to decisive fights. Literally the way to beat an army like that is with an attacking army like 2nd Corps. If you can get into their face, they're done. But if they can stay back and shoot you, they got you. I myself deployed 3,300 on the dot, losing 2,300, killing 1,800. Husky deployed 3,400, losing 1,800, killing 1,500. Drifter playing Cumberland deployed 3,400, lost 1,800, killed only 800. Crap. That's because he only had that one assault, and it was an unsuccessful assault against a very well defended orchard, essentially a small orchard by the valley. And then when the valley did counterattack, it was over because he was stretched out too far. That's why he didn't get too many kills. Hugs deployed. Hugs is 2nd Corps. Thank you for making me shit my pants that game. Deployed 3,100 men, losing 1,800, killing 1,400. Goodwood 1st Corps deployed 3,500, killing 2,000, losing 1,400. Excuse me. Deployed 3,500, lost 2,000, killing 1,400. And Texan here at 5th Corps deployed 3,600, losing 1,100, killing 1,800. So he held the orchard, and that's why he's getting all those point blank shots with, you know, not so costly. That's why he got so many kills. Well, of course, and then 700 of those kills was the freaking Bucktails. Get out of here with that crap. So my Breckenridges and my Claibornes, whew, first guys into the fight with the most kills. I mean, they just performed excellent. Excellent performance. Usually 30 men left in the unit. That was the last one that was left. Got 217 kills. 3 inches only getting a few kills. My 3 inches got more than my 5th Georgia. Holy crap. This Georgia kind of sucked some duty, man. On the Claibornes. This is the Claibornes that was fighting that orchard. Remember that Claibornes that we said came back and we got a lot of deaths? That's the Claiborne that was fighting in the orchard. That's why he didn't get so many kills. And I think this is the battery that I rushed over to the side to help stall 1st Corps flanking there at the end. Guys, thanks so much for watching this battle. Make sure to download this mod. The mod link's in the description. Make sure to join the Discord. So you can play awesome games like this. Not scripted. This is all uber competitive playing. Such a good game. So realistic. I mean, it felt like a Civil War battle when I was playing it. The commands that were being given, the orders that I was receiving about what things were happening outside the field. It felt so realistic, guys. I'm so glad I can share this with you. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more of this. And Merry Christmas, guys, because it is getting close to it. So fucking Bloody Lane, dude. Deserves that name.